Hey, welcome to the Barbie Podcast. I'm your host, John Barbie. Welcome to another episode of Cigars, Cocktails, and Conversation. Today we have a guest that I'm really proud to introduce. We've known each other for the past year, and he's doing some amazing things in the community. So let's see who this guy is.
My name is John Barbie, the host of Cigars, Cocktails, and Conversations, and come join me as I travel the world to fantastic cigar lounges to have exclusive cigars, delicious cocktails, and stimulating conversations with people from around the world. Come join me on this journey.
How you doing?
What's up, Morlon?
Man, thanks for having me, brother.
Hey, thanks for coming down.
Yeah, man.
You're doing some amazing things
Yeah.
here in the community. I definitely want to sit down and talk to you about it, but you know how we do.
Yeah.
We always smoking a cigar.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do, we're going to go we're going to grab a cigar,
Yeah.
pick out a cocktail,
Yeah.
and just have a conversation. So,
I'm ready.
so welcome to A Cigar Lounge. I know you've been here before.
No, absolutely.
It's one of our spots.
Yeah.
So let's go knock this out.
All right, cool. Hey. Cool. Nice.
So here we are in the humidor, and I've always said this. I think 8 has done it right in regards of the way they do their humidor, their marketing, their products. Even when they opened up over a year ago, they didn't have all the products. But you see how much they've grown.
Yes.
What do you like about 8?
Man, I just like the ambiance. I like the coming here and having that experience. Right, when you come to a cigar lounge and looking for luxury experience here in Las Vegas, I think 8 definitely provides that.
It's like a luxury lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, they have some good cocktails, some good selection of cigars, just like you said. And just basically good camaraderie and way to, have a good time and hang out with your friends. Yes.
And John, Cedric Bravo and John Petty, they put together a flagship, almost like an example of what a good cigar lounge should look like.
Absolutely.
So let's do this. Let's go ahead and we got some product. How about we go into the humidor and pick a cigar?
Absolutely. Let's do it. Wow. Yeah, I definitely take selection here. Right? Don't even know what to pick here. What type of cigar do you normally smoke?
Well, you know what? I like variety, but what I really like is Nicholas being the cigar connoisseur here at A Cigar Lounge. What they have been able to do is pair cigars, whatever whatever drinks we're having.
Okay.
So, what's your favorite drink?
Well, normally I have an old fashioned, but most of the time I think today I'm gonna go with a Macallan 12.
Okay, that's something that complements the Macallan.
Yeah, something that complements that.
So we have 2 great cigars, and go ahead and talk about these 2 again.
These are made by Romeo and Julieta in collab with Plasencia. So Plasencia did the blending for it. It's from Nicaragua. So these 2 sticks are going to be more like a jack of all trade sticks. A little bit of peppery, a little more flavor. And these are going to be a little more peppery. The Eternal's a little more smoother, but it's still going to be that nice medium plus heavy feel to them.
There it is. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
So we got a cigar.
Yeah.
Let's go have a cocktail.
All right.
So what 8 has done to the cigar lounge is very luxurious. Giuseppe did a great job designing everything, picking out everything, even to the point where a couple custom prints he made specifically for 8 Cigar Lounge. And
Yeah.
David was the one who did the artwork. So
Nice.
I always ask my guests, out of the 2 prints, the horse and the rhino, which one do you relate to the best?
When you think of a rhino, you always think of strong, immovable,
Right.
force wrecking shop, right?
Oh yeah.
When you think of a horse, you think of we like the workhorse. That's what they've used to build society in
True.
in the past, and horse have contributed so much to that. I'm gonna go with a rhino.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I would be a rhino on the inside, but a horse on the outside. The horse, the rhino, you can look at the rhino and be like, man, I don't want to mess with that guy. But I don't want to be that type of person. But I want to be the type of person where if messed with, you
Right.
become like
the rhino could come out at any
the
time.
rhino could come out at any time.
That's my family. Hey, rhinos come out.
The rhinos come out, but most of the time, I'm just really a horse.
Appreciate that. So what we're going to do now, let's go to the bar and see what we're going to have with these cigars.
All right. Sounds good, brother.
So as you can see, A Cigar Lounge has a great selection of liquors, cognacs, whiskey, wines, vodkas, rums, about anything you want in a bar. But since we're having these great cigars, I pulled out 3 whiskeys that I think will complement these cigars. Out of the 3, which one would you choose?
Well, I'm looking at Maker's Mark, Knob Creek, but just like I said in the humidor, we got to go with the old Macallan 12, baby. It's smooth. It's something that you could have when you're having a cigar. It goes down lightly. These ones are a little bit more,
Okay.
more peppery.
The Macallan is a staple in every cigar lounge that you go to. So let me tell you, if you go to cigar lounge, they don't have Macallan, I think you should just walk away. Just don't even go to cigar lounge.
They got Macallan? All right.
All right, listen. All right, we have the cigars. You know which cocktails will go great with them? How about we go have a smoke?
Man, absolutely.
All right.
Just grab this. Make sure we don't leave it to me. Good enough.
Hey, we got 2 great cigars. So out of the cuts, there's 3 different cuts or 4. If you want to say Biden is actually a cut.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to.
That's fun. And it was like 3. I want to say 2, 4, 2 years.
This is something that ate when I was in Germany, but it has the punch from the bottom.
Oh, wow. So you got 3.
So you got all 3 cutters on all 3 cuts on one cutter.
Wow.
So which cut are you gonna use?
I think I'm gonna use the V cut. Go with a V cut here for the envy.
Okay, why the V cut?
Sometimes when it's the size of the cigar here, sometimes you want to also have a draw where it's not loose.
Okay.
But you also don't want a punch where you got to feel like you're working out.
Why did Morlon pass up on the track?
But it's too much work. But this one will keep it a nice burn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A nice pull. Yeah, a nice pull, a nice draw. We'll go over here.
I love the V cut.
Yeah.
But with this one, I want to taste all the flavor, so I'm gonna go with a straight cut.
All right. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Feel the pepper.
Oh yeah. Nicholas, good choice. All right, well, let's go ahead and have this conversation. Find out what Morlon Greenwood is all about.
Yeah, man.
It just, and on my page, the Barbie movement, on my Instagram page, the Barbie movement, our photographer in Germany, he just kind of listened. And so on the page, it says, every cigar has a story.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the conversation and what we talk about. Because, when we smoke a cigar, we're here for at least an hour.
Yeah,
And we're going to talk about something.
Exactly. And one of the things with that is, you have the discussion aspect. You're not like in a nightclub where you're standing up, Because if I stand up too long, my back starts hurting. So it's always good. And one thing, a cigar, they normally have nice seats, couches to sit down.
What are we sitting at right now?
I mean, this is wonderful. It's like, man, where did you get this from?
No.
So they have that, so it gives you that comfortable living room feeling, and that just gives you the ability to have the conversation with people that you wouldn't normally have that type of long conversation if you're just going to a club or you're just going to any type of gathering or a concert or anything like that.
Okay.
Because the music isn't like loud.
It is.
There's music,
we
but
can't hear each other.
where you can't hear each other. Exactly. So yeah, it's a really good environment.
So how did you start? So every cigar is a story. When did you start smoking cigars, and how were you introduced to cigars?
But, when I played, it was only like once in a while when I would have a cigar when I would go out, or in the time, I didn't start drinking until I was 25 years old. Actually,
You started late.
Yeah, really focus. As a youth coming up, wanted to have my family. It didn't start until then, so it would just happen like once in a while. 2017, when I was doing the foundation, there was a gentleman that had a cigar company. Whenever we would have meetings, he would have like a cigar there, and that's when.
Okay.
That's kind of like how. Then at another meeting, you have a cigar. Then another meeting, a cigar. So I'd be like, hold up. Every time we have a cigar, and then I was like, these things are actually, it kind of mellows you down.
It does.
Mellows you down, make you think.
It's therapeutic.
It's therapeutic, and it's not like something that to make you lose your mind or anything like that, where you feel like, where you feel like, oh, where am I? What am I doing? It just kind of mellows down and calms you down.
It does.
Yeah.
But and what I like most about it is that we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a cigarette.
Mhm.
You're smoking it and you're done.
And it's done real fast. Like these days when I watch someone smoke a cigarette, it's like, 'cause like 2 puffs and they're done. Then back and that's why they talk about a pack a day, 2 packs a day, all of that stuff. Now I understand why, it comes to be that much. But for the most part, it just has and it have a good taste to it.
Right.
That's why each cigar brand have a different type of flavor. It's
Exactly.
about finding the one that really that appeals to you, right?
And there's so many out there. There's so many choices.
Uh-huh.
Well, we met, of course, through a quarter friend of ours.
Yeah.
You have a story, man. You have a story, like you knew at a very young age what you were going to do.
Yeah.
How old were you when you decided?
So the story of when I was living in Jamaica when I was 5 years old, I was walking to the water fountain in Clarendon, Maypen, Clarendon. And I was thinking about my mother. Actually, I was thinking about my grandmother, that she was old, and then I was thinking about my mother, that she's gonna get old. And I thought about my father, and he's gonna get old. And I said, who's gonna take care of your family when they get old?
Okay.
No, I would say, and there was a voice that spoke to me that said,
Was it your father's voice?
it was a voice, not my father's voice, the voice in my head, but it was a voice from God.
Uh-huh.
Never heard it again the rest of my life, but that's the only time you need to hear it. But I thought someone was talking to me. I thought someone was yelling at me,
Right.
but like, you're gonna be the one to take care of family. And I'm like, what do you say? Oh, there's no one here.
You started looking around.
We're like, what's going on here? So I just went on over to the water fountain and I had a drink of water. Then I went back to the classroom and all the kids were playing around in the classroom, right? And I thought to myself, why are these kids playing around? Don't they know they need to take care of the family when they get older?
Right.
This is what I was thinking about when I was 5.
Okay.
And, I never told anyone about what happened to me. Fast forward all the way until I was 26 years old when I signed with the Houston Texans.
Okay.
And that
What year was that?
that was 2005.
Okay.
I was 26. Actually, I was going to be turning 26 that July. It was just a great feeling to be able to say that to them. And then I told them this is what happened to me when I was 5 years old. Because, I wasn't going to tell anyone that all of a sudden you're growing up, you have the naysayers, you have people that believe in it, people that don't believe in it. It's almost was like it didn't matter what anyone said to me, whether they was cheering me on, or whether they were telling me that I couldn't do it, because I had one goal and one objective. I was going to do it.
Okay.
So I didn't need to talk about it.
At the age of 5.
Oh, 5 years old, man. Talk about a lot to think about. And I think about it now, and I look at my son when he's playing video games.
Uh-huh.
I wonder what you think.
You're right. He's not thinking about taking care of mom and dad.
He's probably not thinking about that.
But the way you progressed, so Jamaica 5, how'd you get to, when did you come to the States? Because you played college ball.
Mm-hmm.
And, you kind of went through that whole, it was like,
Yeah.
you see the football life. That was you.
Actually, I grew up playing soccer, the real football. I came over here and I came over here at the age of 11. My father sent for us. I have 7 brothers and 4 sisters.
Oh.
Big family.
Where are you at?
I'm the 4th oldest. And my father sent for us because it was important. We're from different mothers, by the way.
Okay.
But my father thought it was important for all of us to live together.
Okay.
So he sent for all of us. So when he met my stepmom that agreed to take care of us, that's when he sent for all of us to live under one roof. Yeah, because
all 12 of you.
Yeah, my father tell us a story about when it was a lady that he was talking to, and he was like, when they were getting close, and it was like, I got 8 kids. My father said he had his hand on her leg, and she was like, and he was like, well, that was the end of that one. But then, when he met my stepmom, she was, she couldn't have kids at the time.
Okay.
And And she was like, yeah, sure, send for them.
All right.
And so that's how we all came and we all lived together. So all of us went to the same school. Everybody knew up there, Freeport High School.
The Greenwood bunch.
Freeport, yeah.
That was a gang.
Yeah.
You was
All of us. Yeah, all of us. And then my stepmother, she started having kids. So she had 3 kids.
okay.
So yeah. So that's how everything started, coming from Jamaica to here and on my journey of wanting to help my family.
Okay.
Talking to my father about how do I become successful, and he said, you can become a doctor or a lawyer, because that's what we were talking about in Jamaica.
Okay.
I didn't know about the American football stuff, that
Right.
it was such a big deal over here. I used to just flick past the channels because I used to always wonder why the guys always running into the middle. Why don't you run? Why don't you just run around to the side? Like he's always running the middle and getting caught. I didn't know the play was actually designed to go run up the middle.
And that makes sense.
It didn't make sense. Like I thought they were just out there playing, because when you're out there playing soccer, we didn't have like organized like this type of play and that type of play, right? We're just out there with raw talent, running around. Just once you get the ball, you pass it. If you could like go and break through everybody and go score, you go score. That's the type of structure that we had, because we never had any type of a coach to kind of like teach us, the structure of playing soccer. And that structure that I learned was my junior year when I got introduced to football.
Your junior year in high school.
Junior year in high school, yeah. Junior year in high school. I had a gym teacher by the name of Russ Selling that got me into wrestling my sophomore year.
Okay.
Saw how fast I picked up wrestling, and then he recruited me for football because he was the head football coach.
Right.
Yeah, and he was the assistant wrestling coach, but he was the head football coach. And throughout that summer, I won the Empire State Games, and at 191 pounds. And he recruited me for football going out my junior year.
So you definitely have a passion for, number one, you're focused. I don't know any 5-year-olds that are focused like that. Coming with, and by that time your family wasn't that big since you were 5, and you only had your 4 older brothers, and then, by the time you moved to the States.
It was like that. As kids, you probably don't know about the other brothers or sisters, right? As you get older, your father, you learn more. Before my father met my mom, he had like 2 kids.
Okay.
And then after that, he wanted to be with my mom, so that's who he was with. But when he had 5 kids with my mom. But then when he came to America, looking for a better way of life for us, better opportunity, he didn't know when it was going to come back to Jamaica. So during that distance, they kind of grew apart.
Okay.
And so that's what started that whole thing. But he wanted to be with my mom, and my mom wanted to be with him. It's just life.
All right.
The way things happen. So when I was a kid, all I was thinking about is just the 5 of us. Cause we live with our mom.
Okay.
And I saw how I used to walk barefoot on the ground in Jamaica. So I know what it's like about. That's why I always feel for other people that are in need, and because I know how it is. And that's one of the things I'm always thankful for my parents, is for them to make sure they had food to eat and they had a roof over your head. And that's, when it comes down to it, that's pretty much all you need. Your roof over your head and food to eat. Close back.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, you come from a strong family background, but then you progress, and you said you knew at a very young age you wanted to take care of your family, and then you realized at a junior in high school, which is, I can't say it's rare, because usually football players, they start at a very young age, and they play like, Little League football, and then you go to middle school, high school, and they progress their whole career. But with you starting as a junior, but then again, you knew that you had to take care of your family. So you were operating under a different mindset than these other guys, and then realized like, hey, I think football is the route I want to go to take care of my family, to give them.
No, you're absolutely right. It's like, imagine waking up every day and you just have one thought on your mind from 5 years old,
right,
all the way till it happened at 26. Just one focus every single day. So You know, my father taught me about one thing. He said was, do your best at any contest and God will do the rest.
Okay.
You know, he told me that, man, Marlon, no matter what you do, just always put your best foot forward, because you have to do it anyway. And when he told me to be successful, become a doctor or a lawyer, I like helping people, so I am focused on becoming a doctor.
Okay.
So I would make sure I was on a high honor roll each marking period. I was into science as well.
Okay.
And I just kept on focusing on that because that was going to be my way out. That was going to be the way I was going to help my family.
Okay.
I wasn't even thinking that I could get a scholarship playing soccer. I was just playing soccer because I like to play soccer. You know, that's what we played in Jamaica. And then when I got into wrestling, I was just wrestling because my coach asked me to wrestle. You know, because I was in King of the Mat. I was in a gym class in 9th grade, and we were playing this game called King of the Mat, and I pancake everybody, you know, and whole class. And I won it like 3 times in a row. Guys that are on the wrestling team, guys that wasn't big guys, small guys, and that's when the coach asked me, Coach Sellen, asked me to join the wrestling team. That was in 9th grade, and I didn't go out in 9th grade. I didn't go out until 10th grade because someone else on the soccer team was going out to wrestling. He was a Jamaican guy too,
Right.
from other. I was like, I'm going to go wrestle. I said, you know what? Mr. Sellen asked me about wrestling last year, and I didn't go out for the team. I said, since you're going, I'm going to go wrestle too. You know, and then how I joined the wrestling team. And you know, I took 4th in the county my first year, wrestled the freestyle wrestling. I won the Empire State Games at 191 pounds. And then he recruited me for football. It took him like 1 month to convince me to play football.
Really?
Because football and soccer was in the same season. And I didn't know anything about it. And watching the highlights, I used to feel like I know his name now, Joe Montana.
Right.
When he used to get hit, the flip and fall on his head, I was like, yeah, I'm not playing that. You know,
That's too brutal.
You know, like, you know, you could get hit and you could get hurt and all those other things. But you know, my coach was very smart, and I'm glad that he was like this, because he said, Marlon, he said, football starts 2 weeks before soccer. Come out, try it out. If you don't like it,
Go back to
soccer.
Oh yeah.
Because it initially started with all things like you could be the kicker and still play soccer. You know,
Yeah.
you could be, you know, try to like reel you in little by little. But I was like, no. And then he said, all right, football starts 2 weeks before soccer. Come out, try it out. You like it? Stay. If you don't like it, go back to soccer.
Okay.
So I was like, all right,
That makes sense.
you know, make sense. So I did it, and from the first day, I was like, I like the football.
Yeah.
I mean, that football thing is pretty good. You
I
know?
like the Joe Montana. I like that. So then you entered the pros. You said you got drafted by the Houston Texans, and you were with them for how many years?
So I got drafted by the Miami Dolphins.
Oh.
Yeah, but even though I got drafted by the Miami Dolphins, I started 4 years for them, and then that's when I became an unrestricted free agent, because even though I got drafted, I still wasn't making that type of money to be able to
Take care of your family.
take care of my family. I had a big family, 7 brothers and 4 sisters. I mean,
You got a gang.
I mean, you know, if you want to help, if you really want to help, you know, you know, to really do something. You know, I'm not talking like here's $1,200 here, here's you know, not that type of help. I'm talking like paying off their like college tuition.
Okay.
You know,
Oh yeah.
things like that. You know, to be able to give them a start in life. You know, down payment for their homes, all the different type of things like that. And I wasn't able to do it because I was a 3rd round draft pick. Talk about making it and still have to wait another 4 years
Yeah.
to fully do it too. You know, you're there, but you're not quite there yet.
You can see it.
You can see it.
You can take. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after I got drafted, I got one of the worst midfoot sprains, man. My arch of my foot wasn't holding. It's like I went on my tippy toe and we would just fall, you know, like falling arch. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with my foot because I was doing an MRI. I had to do an MRI afterwards because MRI only sees like soft tissue, right?
Right.
And if there's any type of metal detected, they don't. It doesn't show a clear picture.
Right.
So I was in there for 3 hours, and the doctor kept on saying, or the person doing the imaging kept on saying, you know, have you ever had surgery before? I said, never had surgery. Look at my foot. I never don't have any cuts or anything. And they said, well, the reason why we're not seeing the picture because it's detecting metal somewhere.
And your foot?
In my foot. I was like, there's no metal. I'm like Wolverine or something.
You're like Terminator.
Or Terminator. So eventually my coach was like, all right, you know what, we can't get a picture. Let's just do an x-ray, make sure you don't have any broken bones. So when they do an x-ray, they found where the metal was. I have a throwing needle in my foot that's broken like in 3 different places in my foot. That's what it throwing needle. But remember, I used to walk barefoot on the ground in Jamaica. So
And you didn't know it was there.
I remember my foot hurting for like a couple of days, and then you start going over the soreness and you
Right.
go over the pain.
Right. And then it stopped.
Then it keep on healing and healing,
Yeah,
and healing, and then over the years, just had that in it. I mean, I would have never knew. And I asked the foot doctor. I said to the foot doctor, "Do I take the throwing needle out?" And well, the doctor was like, "Well, he had it in there all these years. I might as well leave it in there. Just might as well leave it in there."
It's part of your body now. But one of the things I do like about you, and because you are one of the, and I know everybody does it, but I don't know them like I know you.
Mm-hmm.
You always want to give back to the youth
Yes.
of what you've done. And since you've been in Vegas, and since I've known you, you started a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that foundation, because I think it speaks to your character.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks to your motivation of, at the age of 5,
Mm-hmm.
Wanting to take care of your family and having a way to do that. And by doing that, you're actually letting other kids know, hey, at the age of 5 or 6, you can be focused like I was
Mm-hmm.
for 21 years before I actually made it to the league,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to take care of your family, to be focused like that.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about your foundation, because I think that speaks volumes about your character and who you are.
So, when I finished playing football, I also played in the UFL as well. So I started 4 years for Miami, started 4 years for Houston. And then after that, in 2009, I was a free agent. Then I started 3 years in the UFL. In 2012,
Okay.
the United Football League, that kind of went under because they wanted majority ownership. The NFL wanted to buy it. And the negotiation process just didn't really work out. So, there I was like, all right. So then I wanted to go into acting. I wanted to do that because I liked it. And then in 2015, I decided to start a foundation.
Okay.
I had a foundation when I was playing for Miami, but it wasn't really set up yet. It wasn't really set up, and I didn't have time because I was playing football.
Okay.
So then I said, I'm residing here in Las Vegas right now. I had it registered here, and the name of the foundation is the Morlon Greenwood Foundation.
Okay.
And and it's also known as MG52. MG for Morlon Greenwood.
Okay.
My number was 52 when I played.
Okay. Okay.
The number was 52 when I played. So, and it's short instead of playing the Morlon Greenwood Foundation. It's a MG52. Yeah. When you're there writing, but
Right.
and, you miss that, and my name is spelled Morlon. So sometimes people put Marlon. Sometimes
And then they don't find it.
M-A, and then they don't find it. Marlin. Marlin, like the fish, right? You get all of that, but yeah. So it's the Morlon Greenwood Foundation, MG52. So the website is mg52.org.
Nice.
So people could go on there and be able to see all the different camps that we did in the past. But starting the foundation was to be able to give back to the community, to give back to the youth coming up.
Exactly.
I was that youth coming up looking for guidance and leadership, and just basically tell me what I need to do and where I need to be and how to become successful.
Okay.
I want to be able to utilize the foundation to be that guidance and leadership for the youth coming up, so they can know what they need to do, so they can be like, what, I have a future. A lot of kids can't look further than their city block, where they're living in.
Right.
All they see is their surroundings.
Right.
And they don't know that there's a bigger world out there. I remember when I first got a scholarship, after my first year playing football, after my coach begged me to play, not begged me, but convinced me to play, literally. I was like, let me just do him a favor. But he was actually doing me a favor.
Right.
Right. Later on when I found out, and then I remember at the end of the year when, because he told me 3 things. They said, line up here, don't be offsides, and wherever you see the football, just go get it. He kept it simple. Simple, and that's what, but I was making a lot of plays, and I didn't even know that. I didn't know I was getting sacks and tackles for losses and fumbles, and even chasing the receiver down the field and tackling them, and like all these plays, and Syracuse saw that, was like, this guy's literally all over the field.
Right.
We're like, well, that's my job description. Go get the guy with the ball, right? And I remember my coach called me into the office and was like, Morlon, I was on the phone with the head coach of Syracuse, and he wanted to offer you a full scholarship. And I was there sitting looking at him, and he was like,
You said, what's Syracuse? Where's Syracuse at?
didn't know it's Syracuse. But I was like, well, doesn't everybody get a scholarship?
He was like,
And he was like, no, everybody don't get a scholarship, and everybody don't get a scholarship to a Division 1A program after just playing 1 year of American football. That's
a great story.
I was like, oh, all right. But I still didn't really know what he was talking about, really. Like, so I went home, I told my parents, and my parents was like, wow, because my parents knew it was a big deal, but they didn't know that you could get a scholarship for playing football.
Right.
Go
to school for free and play.
Go to school for free. You mean they're gonna pay for my education for just playing football? What? How come I didn't know about this?
Not soccer.
football. Not that. Yeah. I was like, really? All right. So then when I talk about taking you out of your environment, when I went up to Syracuse, I actually went up there on the unofficial visit my junior year and actually see the campus and see where I'm going to work out, see where I'm going to live, and down at the down in the apartments down there and at Syracuse, and the different classrooms and the cathedrals and all the different architecture up there, and I'd be like, wow, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
That's what I want to create for the youth. I want to create for the youth to let them know that there's an opportunity for them out there. So we started out doing the free football camps for the kids. And football is to bring them in, but to teach them about the importance of education, staying on the right path, discipline, hard work, dedication, and let them know how consistent they have to be a success in life. It's just not do it today or do it tomorrow. It's like, getting up every single day doing this. That's how you're gonna get there. It's like if you're going from point A to point B, the way to get there is go one step at a time in a straight line. If you're going over here and someone pulling you over here, and you're supposed to go there, you're going over there, you're wasting time. You gotta come back on the line, let's get there, that someone pull you over there, and you gotta go back.
There's so many distractions.
But if you just tunnel it out and just go straight, you will achieve your goal quicker. So that's what I want to do, and we really emphasize education, because when I got a scholarship was Syracuse thought that I was good on the football field. They thought that I had the ability, and literally I was everywhere. But then they said, how's his grades? And it was like, Coach Sellen was like, he's on the honor roll marking period. And Syracuse was like, give him a scholarship now.
Before we lose somebody else.
Yeah, give him a scholarship now. I've targeted that. Once Syracuse offered me a scholarship, everybody offered me. Michigan, you had Nebraska, you had Tennessee, you had North Carolina, you had Miami didn't give me a scholarship though. But
we need to talk to Miami. Why did you give him a scholarship? Why did you give him a scholarship?
They were like they were rivals, but once I got a scholarship from Syracuse, it kind of like I blocked out everything.
Right.
Because it was 5 hours away from home. They were the Division 1A school, and I'm very
successful,
very prominent program. But I'm also, I believe in people that believe in me. And because they gave me an opportunity, it's not like something better come along that I'm gonna just be like, oh, this school has a little bit more notoriety than Syracuse. I was like, I'm going to Syracuse. So I just, that was good. So I was able to focus on, and I became my coach first state champion in 29 years of Freeport High School, because I still wrestled. Even though I won the Empire State game, but that was in freestyle. But scholastic style, that's when everybody is wrestling. I was able to accomplish that. And my total state championship was 5, including the scholastic one, which I won. I just continue to do that, focusing on what my father said, but do your best at any contest and God will do the rest. And this is basically what I want to instill in the youth.
When was your last camp?
Last camp was August 19th.
Where at?
2023, we did Spring Creek, Nevada, which is close to Elko.
Okay.
We did in Elko. The one before that, we did it here in Las Vegas, July 28th to the 30th at Cimarron Memorial High School.
Okay.
And prior to that, we did a camp in Utah, in Salt Lake.
Okay.
We had about 100 kids there. The one we did in Spring Creek had about 335 kids.
Oh.
14,000 people in the community, that live there.
Right.
And and the kids were so appreciative, so thankful, so grateful doing the camp. Was just amazing. We're partnered up with the NFL alumni that come out there. The one we did here in Las Vegas, we had about 475 kids that registered for it.
Okay.
It was pretty hot, so we only had like 300 and some kids, which was still a lot of kids.
Oh yeah.
Run
all over the place.
But the reason why I'm saying this is because we're working on putting an indoor facility here in Vegas.
Exactly.
To be able to house the kids, so when it gets hot, they could go inside. When it gets cold, they could go inside. They could still take advantage of going outside when the weather is nice.
Right.
It's good to be out there, but when it's scorching hot, when it's really cold, that definitely is something I want to be able to give them an opportunity to be able to have the choice to go indoors, and not even just for the kids, for the parents.
Mm-hmm. Sitting outside watching.
They're sitting outside watching. How much parents
They're up in the
go up there in the stands. They have to bring the umbrella and everything out there.
I think you should have moved to Allegiant Stadium. If when it gets too hot, we go into the stadium to show them a different look. But
it would be nice, but you also understand the other thing that's involved too. So that's why we're working hard to put our own facility.
Right. Exactly.
And we're looking to put multiple facilities here.
Okay.
To house the youth, to put in the charter schools in there, 3 hours of education, 3 hours of athletics.
Yeah.
And but that's a long-term goal. Right now we're just looking to expand with the different camps and to be able to expand our footprint by bringing awareness to what we do in the community.
So I like that you talk about expanding your footprint. What I want to do is currently, because I'm living in Germany, I will definitely talk to a friend of mine who is a coach in Germany, and Germany has over 260 football teams.
Yeah.
And so, that's more so on the professional level. However, I'm pretty sure out of those 263 teams, there's more than over 263 kids who also to follow the program. I'm making a promise to you right now that I am going to do my best to bring you over to Germany, because I think American football has influenced them so much.
Yeah.
And to have an NFL alumni who played for the Texans, who played for the Dolphins, who went to Syracuse, your story of how big your family was and seeing how focused you were at 5, all 5 up until 26 until you made it. I think they need to hear that story as well. So my goal is to get you over to Germany, me being in the military, being able to talk to them and getting you the facilities you need to be able to run the camps the way you want to run them. And eventually, I want this to be a yearly thing.
Yeah.
So I want you to come back every year.
Absolutely.
To definitely establish your footprint. Now that we have you national, let's go international. And let's start in Germany. Then wherever we expand to from there.
We expand from there, because the goal of the facility is to put it everywhere where there's a NFL alumni chapter. We have about 44 chapters across the United States.
Okay.
And also then to expand across the world. Now, when you think about it, it's like, oh, this is huge, this is big, but you have to focus on one at a time. It's my goal. My thing is not where you start, it's where you finish. And
exactly.
As long as you focus on where you are, and know where you're heading. But as long as you focus on where you're at the moment, some people try to jump, say, why am I not 10 steps ahead when I'm only at step 1? Because you're only at step 1.
Right.
You have to figure out how to get to step 2.
Right.
And step 3.
You got to be in the moment.
You got to be in the moment.
Every moment. And as you start capitalizing on those moments, it'll lead you to where you want to go.
Absolutely.
It'll reach your goals. So, but I feel like that you're using football as a platform because, you know, that's what a lot of kids look at. But I also like that you are not only promoting their athletic ability, but education is important as well. So, okay, so just say I can't make it as an athlete, but you're setting them up education-wise, like, hey, it doesn't matter if you're a football player. You could be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you could be a cigar owner, like just
business owner,
and still make an impact in the kid's life.
Exactly.
So I really like that about what you're trying to do.
And I'm glad you said that, because when I talk about the camps and football, and people always, they go to thinking like just a regular football school and things like that, or athletic program. This is going to have like all the wraparound services for the youth, like talking about mental health, behavioral health, tutoring classes, trade school, entrepreneurship classes, leadership classes, financial literacy,
everything,
workforce training, teaching them how to, like you mentioned, not everybody's going to go on to college to play football.
True.
They know that they can make it becoming a nurse, you know, or they can make it doing real estate. They can make it being an entrepreneur, you know, a business owner. Figure out how to do these things. Learn about finances from a younger age, because these things are not being taught to them. And the kids don't know what they don't know. You have to introduce them to as many things as possible. Exactly. Just like I didn't know that I went to like scholarship. What is that?
Play football.
I never heard about this before. What? You know, they go, what? You mean you're gonna pay? My scholarship was like $125,000 back then.
Right.
It's a lot of money back then, and it's a lot of money now. And now it's even a lot more.
Right.
Now, you know, because that was back in 1996. You know,
Tell me what it costs now.
they was.
So, man, I think it's fantastic. I really appreciate you coming down here and being very candid and sharing the story. I appreciate our friendship. I know that, I just know that when you called me that night and say, hey, I need you here. And it just speaks of how I feel about you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Our relationship.
Yeah.
And that if Morlon calls, it's something important.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate it about you. So I appreciate you being on the show. I appreciate your conversation. I appreciate your story.
Yes.
And I think it's a story that needed to be heard. And that's what this platform is all about. Everybody has a cigar story. Everybody has a story.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, cigars was my safe space to be able to talk about what I was going through on the military side, being deployed and then being deployed to Iraq and then being deployed to Cuba, seeing this thing. And what cigars did, it allowed me a safe space to talk about what I was going through with my family at home, with my soldiers that I was responsible for in theater, even life in general. So, you know, I always tell people, they're like, why you smoke cigars? I said, well, cigars saved my life. It gave me a chance to a safe space.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
to be able to talk about what I need to talk about.
You know, I'm glad you shared that, because one of the main reasons that the foundation has grown is grown because that's where I've built most of the relationships that support the foundation. You know, support the camps, to support the coaches when they come in. You know, we're talking about Fort Queens. You know, talking about Binions. We're talking about Chicago Brewing Company. These different organizations that out there that help youth. People look at them as, you know, just having a casino and but they do a lot for the youth in the community, and and those relationships was built because of just having a cigar.
It's all about relationship.
You know, just having a cigar. You know, and there's a lot more other relationship that was built there, and even I talk about going up to the UFL. You know, playing up in the UFL. But my coach was up there was Joe Moglia. You know, he was the chairman of TD Ameritrade, and now he has the Moglia Family Foundation. And he supports the toy drive, the camps that we do every year. And you know, this is one of the things that I like about people, that just a lot of people, when you talk to them and you tell them, oh, we have this camp coming, they always went like, well, what am I gonna get? You know, these guys
what's in it for me?
They never ask. They just be like, just make sure the kids are okay, make sure the kids got the food, make sure the kids get their T-shirts and the water and food and lunch and everything like that. And that's what it's all about. You know, just pouring back. That's your reward for giving back. Exactly.
Because you never know what kid
you're going to impact
Yeah.
to impact the next generation
Thanks,
and the
bud.
generation after that. And
Exactly.
that's what you've done. You know, I would thank that coach for tricking you and saying, hey, it's 2 weeks before football. What
Yeah, exactly. Coach Selling, man. Me and him is
and
still.
take the ball.
Yeah. I was just up at Freeport in June because I did do a camp up there too.
Okay.
But I haven't done one since 2020 because of the COVID
Right.
situation. They told me to wait until next year. So next year I'm gonna do one there.
Okay,
But
good.
Also another camp that we did here. We do a camp twice a year. We do another one at Cimarron, a winter camp. We call it winter because, believe it or not, in Vegas we do have a winter time.
That's when the temperature drops below 80 degrees.
That's not eating. You know, a lot of people come out here in February, January, thinking they're gonna go to the pools and stuff in the tank top and be like, whoa,
I forgot my coat. Gotta keep my jacket on.
yeah, you know, they bring the wrong wardrobe. But yeah, we do a camp during that time, and we do one during the summer, and I normally do one in my hometown as well because that's where everything started for me.
Exactly.
So I wanted to
give
do
back.
that. But Coach Selling, I went up there, went up to Freeport, talked to his kids. You know, I give like an award out every year. It's called the Raise Up Award for outstanding person that male and female that represent responsibility, awareness, inspiration, success, and ethics. And once they establish the race, they're now uniquely proclaimed because they have done it and they've accomplished it on their own.
And that's what kids need to know, that you can be rewarded for that as well.
You can be rewarded for that.
And that's the foundation. So thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
you
man.
coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
It's been, it's always good to see you. I know that when Morlon Greenwood calls, I need to show up.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. But when you were like, Morlon, I need you. You were like, Morlon, I need you. I was like,
I do it. It was last
I was like, all right, I'm there. Yeah.
So just want to give a shout out to Giuseppe and Ace Cigar Lounge for allowing me to hold the event here. Cigar Luxury Magazine also has supported this effort to be able to get the message out, man. I think everybody has a story. Everybody has a message. And so the more times we can have this conversation with different people, the more times we're going to be able to tell people, hey, this is another route to success. This is another route what you can do. And you have always, hang out with you, and I appreciate, relationships.
Yeah.
I called you 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. I was like, I need you. I was like, I need you. Really want to appreciate Ace Cigar Lounge, Giuseppe. Like I said again, it's Ace Cigar Lounge in Las Vegas, Nevada, in Resorts World. You have to come check it out. This is another episode of the Barbie Podcast. This episode will be in Cigars, Cocktails, and Conversation. Follow us. Let's enjoy the ride. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. All right, bless.